Good evening, everyone. We are back tonight. Thanks for your patience. You know what? Just like prices at Walmart, it's rollback time for Artemis 2. We know who the sick astronaut is from the ISS rescue. We still don't know why. Leadership lapses compromised Starliner, according to the report, both sides. Seraphim closed $100 million in their second early stage space fund. That's wicked cool. Canadian Space Agency is to invest in lunar mining and power infrastructure. Eutelsat seeks €1 billion to refinance their debt. Sophia Space closes $10 million for their space computing network. Avio, an Italian company, is building a $500 million facility in Virginia. Don't they know what just happened there? Anyway, a lot more and all that, plus our guest, Kuang K. From the news desk at the Center for Space Commerce and Finance. My name is Thomas Andrew Olson, and this is The Unknown Quantity. Of course, as you know, this program is brought to you by the Center for Space Commerce and Finance. And what do? As always, we champion and strengthen emerging space startups and space-adjacent enterprises worldwide. Our pitch events and world-class boot camps fortify startups to be better investor-ready. Now, a lot of our work, especially this podcast, is supported by listeners and fans like you. Remember, the Center is a 501c3 nonprofit, so just go to our website, cscf.space/support. Click that donate button and drop something in the tip jar. In addition, if you like this show and you support this show, tell your friends. I know you have some. You're on the internet. And here at this point, coming on is my oldest space friend, Michael Wayne, who just got out of the sweat lodge. Michael, come on in, man.
Hey, how's things?
How's it going, eh?
Yeah. You were not going to be here originally.
I was not going to be here originally.
You were going to a conference and the snow smote you down. Is that right?
Yeah, the snow smote me down. So I was smoted. I was completely smoted. It's not fun.
Were you going to a space conference?
No, I was going to series of investor meetings.
Oh, right on.
Dinners, actually, in New York City. I worked at this for Avialto, my Avialto incarnation. And so Walt and I were going to New York. Walt was already there a day ahead of time. There's a series, this guy put this on, of 3 dinners in a row, 3 nights in a row at the same place. And there are 30 investors roughly at the table at this dinner meeting in each night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so tonight's the last one. It's still going on. Walt's here right now. And so these people are like, they're pretty solid and they're really interested in new stuff. And the guy who puts this on, this is the interesting part. The guy who puts this on said he's been doing it for like 15 years. I know these people. I got these investor groups together. I don't get paid until they invest.
Okay. All right.
Not on us. We didn't pay him anything. We had to buy the dinner. We got the restaurant tab, but that was it.
Right.
And, we're the featured guest. And so far, I guess it's been pretty successful. It's like 3-5 people he's talked to. There are like 30 people roughly show up each time. Yeah. And it's happening tonight. If we get, let's say we get, 6 or 7 people out of that really want to go in and they put in on average, say $100K or more each.
Right. Yeah.
It keeps the lights on for a while we're waiting for the big thing that we're working on.
Right.
And so
right.
Hopefully I will make an announcement maybe before the end of March. It's all this weird stuff going on.
Yeah. Well, good. Is it? Do I know who put on the event?
No, you do not.
No. Okay. It still wouldn't
But
start. The last name wouldn't start with an L.
No,
No.
I
Okay.
don't think so. I would. Yeah, I'll get it out of Walt though. I don't know who the guy is either.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, we're also talking to another group out of Hong Kong, and they're already doing the due diligence. Like they're in. So, so
Great.
we have our options. We'll get this done sooner or later. We're going to get this done.
Fingers crossed, man.
The first half of this year is over, and then we're going to I just want to build shit. We're ready.
Let's just go build it. Right? Yeah.
Just build this. Let's build the effing thing, please.
Right. I am in the same boat. Let's go build it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
yeah, what do you got?
So with my thing about it's rollback time. It's been in the news for several days now.
Right.
They're rolling back the SLS. They're rolling back Artemis 2 to do a bunch of major fixes, and now the launch has been pushed back to early April.
Who did?
And there it is. And there it is. Now this has been in the news for several days now. They knew last Saturday they were going to do that.
Yeah.
They didn't announce it until last Monday, I think. And then now I got 8 announcements into my feeds. It's like everywhere. It's all they talk about now.
Yeah.
Well, you got all your lunar eggs in a basket. That's at this point. That's kind of okay.
Right.
How often did the Saturn V roll back?
Oh, I don't know. That was.
Did it?
I mean,
once they committed to the pad, did they roll back for anything?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's somebody who's got their AI tools up. Look that up because that's a curious question. That's
true.
Would be a good comparison.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have anything to contribute. All I can say is BDRs are frustrating. Big dumb rockets. Yeah. Well,
that was what Elon used to call Starship at first when he first announced it. He just called it the BFR.
BFR. It did not. That is a different F. That was a very different F for the BFR.
Big effing rocket. Yeah, is what that was. But yeah, Starship's a little better, I think.
I have high hopes for Starship, and I love what's happening in the world related to Starship. So,
well, he's promised 7 launches this year at least, minimum.
Yep.
And those latter 6, they'll be clustered together. There's a new test one coming up any minute now, the next month or so, and then the rest of them are pushed back to like mid-year or later. But they're just like one after another after another.
Well, right.
They intend to demo on-orbit refueling.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
this is a new design, and we're kind of off topic here. We have a ton of news, but it's a new design. This is version number 3 of Starship, and it's got a ton of upgrades. So I kind of expect it, true to form, to be a little clunky out of the gate.
Yep.
And then the next 6, I have high hopes for the next 6.
Yeah, I do
too. The first one's going to be a little rough, I think.
Yep. So next up, the rescued astronaut from ISS that they wouldn't talk about turned out to be Mike Fink. Yeah, he's a seasoned veteran, so I don't know what's going on there because they still won't say what the problem is. We just know it's him now. He's spoken up. Yeah, it was me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to tell you what was wrong with me. Okay.
I said when we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, I think we deserve to know. I'm sorry. I don't think he gets to hide behind the shield of personal privacy. Not in this case. There's too much that the rest of the world needs to learn about his situation so that it doesn't happen twice, so it's preventable or whatever it is. I'm frustrated by this.
And we're living, I agree with you 100%, because we're living in an era right now where everyone's screaming for transparency in everything. And so it's nothing new. Well, yeah, we should know this too. Come on, everything. Let's put it out there.
I'm not quite the everything needs to be transparent. Like
I'm saying there's a call for it. I'm not accusing you of doing it. This is the world we live in now.
If it was Tom Olson or Michael Lane, and we had the medical problem, and we have had medical problems since we've been doing this show, I don't think that needs to get broadcast to the world. That is not, we are not public figures in the way that sports stars and astronauts are
Yeah.
public figures, right? People are
Yeah.
betting their careers on these people,
Right.
and I think that moves the bar. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, we'll see. I think I think they should disclose what happened and what their precautions were for the future, or are for the future, and also, yeah, Denise, I get you. It falls under HIPAA, but I think there are rules that allow you to go around that. I don't know. I'm not a HIPAA lawyer, but
because I was right out there. I missed that one show about a year and a half ago because, hey, I was having a stent put in my left leg.
Right.
Yeah. I like walking, so that was a good thing to do.
Right. But if it happened once, it's likely it will happen a second time, and there should be preventive measures, and no one can know that if the problem isn't disclosed. So yeah. All right, let's move on.
Very quickly, space operations. We have a thing here. There are actually several links on this, but I just kind of picked one. Because it said something about NASA leadership lapse somehow compromised the safety for the Starliner crew in the flight test. Now, my question after looking at that, it was, well, is it really just NASA leadership alone? I think, didn't Boeing leadership?
This piece definitely felt like it was a little bit of a hit piece. I don't think it was the most... it was accurate, but it definitely felt a little slanted.
Yeah.
Because Isaacman himself came out and said this is a tier A problem or a level A problem, whatever his language was, and he called out leadership on both sides, on the commercial side and the civil side.
Well, that's because level A is up there with Challenger and Columbia.
Right.
That was that. That's when you call it that. That's usually the death of the program or something. So
right.
Both sides are still claiming in this. Boeing and NASA are still committed to trying to make Starliner work.
Right.
How do you have a Type A, thing? And
right.
I don't get it.
I don't. I hope that the dust is not settling on this one. I hope that there are things that happen out of this. But I mean, frankly, it's about time somebody called it what it was. Right. Yeah. It was
absolutely.
It could have been catastrophic. It wasn't. Luckily, good.
Challenger was like that. That was major Type A management failures on all sides, and they made the wrong call, and people died.
Yep.
And so at least we were lucky in this one that nobody died.
Nobody died.
And
it got inconvenient. It got pretty inconvenient for a while.
Yeah.
What was it? 8 days turned to 8 months, or whatever
that.
Yeah. I'm a little exaggerating, but I don't think I'm exaggerating.
Yeah, she retired. Sydney Williams retired.
Yeah,
that was it. Yeah, that was enough.
Yeah,
enough.
Yeah,
she retired. Okay, money. There's money. We found money in space.
Yay.
Here's the next one, because the Seraphim, who we know very well,
Yep.
They closed their second, not their first, their second early stage space fund above $100 million.
Good.
So a few years ago, if you said you were going to do that, they would have told you you were crazy. But now here we are.
Yep.
100 mil for early stage space-related startups. That's us.
It's a lot, right? That's us. That's everybody we talk to. That's our crowd, right?
Yep.
Remind people new to the show that this show tends to focus on that intersection of money and space, and we've been tracking, no joke, no exaggeration, billions of dollars of transactions so far this year, and then all of last year. It was a lot. Seraphim, correct me if I'm wrong, they're about 8 or 9 years old, right? Like they've been around the block for a while, and they have a bunch of boot camps and accelerators here in the US and also over in Europe. I don't think they're quite as big, although I don't have any insight into their numbers. I don't think they're quite as big as Space Capital. I think those guys are the category killers because they have been operating for nearly 20 years, starting as Space Angels. But I think Space Capital has north of 500 million assets under management, and I believe that Seraphim is in the 300 million range. Although I'm not sure that's true.
You're pretty close.
Yeah,
you're pretty close. But they do a lot of other things too. They're related. They're not just space. They're a lot of different kinds of tech.
Right. Yeah, they do drone work and they do near
but
space.
They wouldn't do us for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, well, then now they have got some new money, so
you never know. You never know. I'll be seeing those guys actually a month from now at Satellite Conference.
Oh, great.
Oh, who knows? So what was that? So here's coming up. This is from SpaceQ. Canadian Space Agency is committed to investing, I don't know how much, in future lunar mining and power infrastructure.
Nice.
So it's not just an America only operation. These guys are let me see that. I want to see that because Mark Boucher. Yeah, I know him. Yeah, he's real.
Yeah, Mark has been a fixture writing and reporting in the space industry for I don't know 2 decades.
Yeah,
he's a big and he has a fund now. Actually, that's not highly known, but he has his own fund.
That's true.
Now.
That's true.
Yeah,
but they're mostly focusing on mining and ISRU. And so that's good. They want to convert. That's a good niche for them. And power generation and distribution, at least long enough to survive the 14-day lunar night cycle and support habitats and rovers. At this point, so it's about $1 million, maybe 1.3. They said they fund up to 2 contracts per study, with total available funding of $500,000 per contract, and the contract period is 10 months. There might be an optional extension for additional funding up to $300K. So that's a start.
Yeah.
They have provided already $2.9 million to funding for 4 companies for prototyping phases for ag and food, autonomous robots, avionics, and now ISRE stuff. So
I shout out to their name, Lunar Surface Exploration Initiative. My project is the Lunar Space Elevator Initiative, LC. And when I saw this, I was like, what, LC? And then I'm like, oh, they just copied my name. Yeah, so good for them. But this is cool. I actually might dig into this one a little bit. I think there might be some value.
Yeah, there. Absolutely. Meantime, struggling Eutelsat. They're huge because we have to mention them. They're raising 1.5 billion euros, about 1.8 billion US, as they're looking to refinance all their outstanding debt after the government has already bailed them out in some form or another. So they're selling 2 euro denominated bonds, a 5-year note with an initial yield of around 6.3, and a 7-year note yielding about 6.8. And that's all I'm getting off of that right now. There's some kind of error on my end. And
that's the second multi-billion dollar, that's the second $1 billion debt instrument that we've seen this year. Our producer, Sean, wrote a post about it a couple days ago, basically saying if you do it once, it might be an anomaly. If it happens more than once, it might be a signal. Wouldn't it be great if the debt industry got into the space industry? Because up until the last 2 weeks, they have stayed out of it, right? They are not a participant in our industry, but this is 2 in 2 weeks. Yeah. So at $1 billion number, number. So that is really interesting to me.
It does, and Sean's right. It does take some of the pressure off for equity funding for a lot of these. So, okay, so we have a scrappier little company called Sophia Space. They just closed $10 million for their space computing.
Local kids done good.
Yeah,
The Yeah, they're out of Seattle, local company, did good.
Yep.
They're doing what we talked about StarCloud. We had Philip on our show a couple weeks or 2 months
Right.
ago. He was the guy that had the claim to fame that started the craze, not the idea. Dennis Wingo had the idea.
Great.
Philip had started the craze on space-based data centers.
Mm-hmm.
And his video came out and it showed everybody that you're going to build Connex boxes. Well, he's not doing Connex boxes. He's not doing shipping containers. He's doing he has submitted for a constellation of 88,000 satellites in sun synchronous orbit. So that's going to get really busy fast. But Sophia has all along, local Seattle company, been saying, look, refrigerator sized Connex boxes, refrigerator sized data centers, not shipping container. And what's really interesting about what they're doing is it's, in their phrase, non-parasitic, meaning they don't go up and take over your satellite. They actually just kind of come in, clamp on, and add capability. So they bring their own power, their own processing, and just make your satellite a better operating satellite. So I find that a very clever way to get into this business. So I'm kind of excited about these folks. I had a meeting with them maybe about 4 months ago in relation to our own project, and they're doing good things. The guy that's up here local is an old like Real Networks kind of guy. He was doing a lot of hyper video compression back in the day. So that's what he brings to the table. So
Okay.
Big fan of Sophia. And then also another Seattle startup got a $25 million contract from Space Force about a month ago, which we mentioned. But they also got a new $17 million in venture funding, and that's Integrate Space. So the Seattle market for space is doing really well. Like we got some cool players doing interesting stuff here lately.
Yep. I think we're gonna we'll do one more, then we'll go to our guest. How's that sound? Because there's another kind of good one. It's another $500 million on the board. An Italian company that makes solid rocket motors is going to build a huge facility in Virginia that's worth $500 million. They're putting into our economy to build that, and it's a wholly owned U.S. subsidiary, and they're funding it with that much. They're going to build 860,000 square foot facility. Support agreements they've already signed with the military, Raytheon, and Lockmart. Wow.
Jesus. Good on them. Yeah. Have you ever even heard of this company? Because they are a mystery to me.
They're huge. And who knew, right? And they already signed another 400 euro deal, overseas. They're like, holy mother. Who are these guys,
Yeah. As you mentioned, do you know what happened to Virginia this year?
I was thinking of all the new regulations and taxes and stuff that they've imposed, like immediately, like within a week. I thought,
I was thinking about all this.
You could have gone to, you could have gone just a little bit further south to North Carolina, and you wouldn't, have that problem. But okay. But I guess when you're that big and can spend that much money, you don't really care, do you?
You got to wonder if there's a political angle to that.
I'm sure there is.
You have to. Yeah. But good for them. Yeah. I have no idea who this company is. Now they're on my radar. So
we don't talk about those kinds of politics here on this program.
Right.
Unless we can possibly avoid it. And so that was the last thing, I guess. So why don't we then move to our guest tonight? He's a recurring guest. And then, the Purple People Eaters. That's us, man. So we're bringing on Kuang K back to us. He is a major electronics manufacturer. He has facilities in both Taiwan and in Texas. And I don't know where you're calling from right now, but we're glad to have you back. I know we're going to talk about a lot of interesting things tonight, including what you're doing, and we're going to get into a big thing about space debris and other topics. Kuang Hanke, welcome back, man. How you doing?
Hi, Tom. Hi, Michael. How are you?
Hey.
I'm calling in from Texas.
All right, Texas. Great.
Good. That's easier. Only one time zone out from me, so that's a lot better. What is going on? I know you divide your time between Texas and Taiwan. What's new on your plate in your business? You building new stuff? Got new customers? What's going on?
Right. I'm here in my Houston office. And so started 2 years ago, we registered the company in Texas. And since then, we have been moving around in the same building, starting from upstairs to downstairs and across the hall in downstairs, and we are more permanent now.
Good.
And so this month I've been organizing the place and getting ready. And I just returned from the Ascent, Texas event, right down the street, about 20 minutes away, where we were talking about development in the space industry around here, especially Houston area, and also the introduction of the Texas Space Commission and the Texas space ecosystem discussion this afternoon. So
Okay,
it
good.
was actually quite interesting. And so this is a brand new recap for the event this yesterday and today.
Okay. All right. I know they officially announced that they did award all of their money out, the 150 million. That was
Last
officially
year.
announced like yesterday.
Yes.
And so we're just waiting for the next announcement of the 300 million that they're going to get, which
Yes.
they gave us a preview of. You were sitting there in the room with me at Spacecom when that woman from Texas Space Commission mentioned it.
Yes.
And so we get to talk about that now. But
So they are talking about that today.
yeah.
Yes.
Good.
So we have been. So what's new here with us is we are starting to ramp up the Houston office, and hopefully this year we will revamp some of the production facility in Taiwan, and hopefully we will have about 25,000 square foot size facility together this year by the end of the year.
Good.
So that is our progress on the production side. And then
How big is that?
the thing that's interesting,
How big is
25,000.
All right, great. Terrific.
25000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So that will be enough size for us to work on for the next 3 years.
Okay.
And because we start with the CubeSat activity, and then we completed the lunar lander payload mission before.
Yeah.
And since we are in Texas, so I think the lunar activity will pull us in to support.
Good.
And also will be involved possibly in the medical area for the human spaceflight. And also we are working on the thermal solutions and also semiconductor crystals.
Wow.
And so instead of just CubeSat, we are actually involved in all these areas. And of course, the topic today is we are working on production for the deorbit drag device.
Okay.
And we completed the pilot production last year after the device was first invented in Florida and the product being carried out in California. and with space heritage in 2022, and 2024 and 25, we did the pilot production, and then the pre-production in 25, and I think right now we will be able to possibly do the full production when there is demand, and the demand we think will come from gradually, and the regulatory framework was passed in September 24, 2024, by FCC end of life 5-year rule. And however, there has been slower regulatory implementation until the industry technology develop and people's consensus are gathering. So from the event in Tokyo, Japan this January, when we have seen both enthusiasm from the European Space Agency and NASA, and also the Japanese JAXA, that many, also the academic environment are starting to understand more about the space debris issues. So I think the whole event in the LinkedIn workshop started to have about 40% talks involving about space sustainability and space debris. So I think more people are catching on to that, and because we have existing solutions with flight heritage already, and the fact that we are able to scale to 1,000 satellite this year for production. So we are possibly one of the first company to work together in the ecosystem to provide solutions to retrofit to more and more satellites to be able to satisfy the FCC end of life 5-year rule, when customers are able to finish their satellite and without using the extra fuel on board, we can deorbit for them at the end of life, and without using the fuel, and the fuel can be extended for the more extending the life of the satellite itself. So that's been our development.
Is your tech a tether-based system, a propulsive system? What's your end-of-life tool?
So it's a system about 0.5 U, which is 0.5 liter size, about 1 kilogram, and it extends out about 12 feet in all 4 directions. And
it's just a big sea brake.
It's a cross.
Yeah, cross. Yeah.
Yeah.
They call them up in Seattle in shipping, they don't want to put the anchor down, but they do want to slow them down, and they'll just put this sea brake out that's a great big cross that gets all the resistance from the water. And so it's the same technology for that.
Same concept.
Right. And it's so far because the device require precision manufacturing. So because of our precision manufacturing, we were able to dial in the concept right in the first try. And
I want to remind our listeners that are new here. You have a lot of experience in precision manufacturing between chips and massive automation. So give us a little bit of background about that, and then tell us what you're doing.
Right, because we have a lot of new listeners lately have come on board just since you've been here last. So they'd love to hear the intro about you.
Yeah.
So I was trained in the space sciences and engineering, and at that time I was trained to do man-Mars mission. And however, the beginning of my career took me to semiconductor industry, and I spent 6 years from being a junior engineer and became a system architect for a $3.5 billion equipment in the very large Fortune 150 company. And then my career started, and I returned to Taiwan and went through all different roles and started doing semiconductor and also precision machine industry, and had many different experiences in all different roles in the precision machinery and the semiconductor industry. And then at 2008, I was able to found my own company and return to the space industry. And since then, we have gathered enough resources in the 17 year of the company existence to have precision manufacturing in-house. And I used to be in charge of the semiconductor equipment industry and also precision machine tool industry in the government in Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
And and also spearheaded the Industry 4.0 development in the automation and smart manufacturing and advanced manufacturing in over there. And so we have quite a complete manufacturing method and also ecosystem that have built and supported grant systems for to be able to use very few resources and be able to produce satellites in the hundreds.
Okay.
When we talked to you the very first time, probably about a year ago, you had dozens of satellites just sitting on a shelf ready to go, just the boxes ready for customers. And now you're scaling up to deorbit thousands at a time with a 250,000 square foot facility. Got to tell you, sir, I am pretty impressed. I'm pretty impressed by that growth. Congratulations.
We try our best.
So as this stuff get up there, I know you got to be, I mean, you're taking a physical device, you're hooking it up to these things to bring them back down. So you've already got your launch contracts figured out, or who are you working with?
So basically, the customer buying in. So we are getting ready. When customer need it, we will produce, and the capacity is 1,000 a year. Okay. But if there is only needs for 50, we will build 50 a year.
Okay. All right. Yeah, one of our viewers here tonight, Denise Pouchet, mentioned she's a big fan. She says, very glad to hear your company can scale to 1,000 satellite retrofits to mitigate the enormous space debris problem. So
I think as the satellite bus supplier, and we would like to hope that our customers are responsible for themselves, and we will help develop the technology when we see it, and we will put it in for them. so that they are responsible to bring their own satellite when it's at the end of life.
Okay.
So that is our thinking, and we kind of try to build that into the customer's thinking by kind of brainwashing.
Okay, so you're building them into so you're building this into your own bus, and then you sell the whole bus to the customer, and they put their stuff in it, and off it goes as a unit.
Yes.
I get it now. Okay, yeah, that's perfect.
So it's kind of we try to make it as natural as possible for the debris to for people to be able to be responsible with a small cost.
Sure. And so that helps. Well, that's a big help because it helps going forward. I mean, we have a big debris problem, and we're still trying to figure out what to do about it. But if you're working at your end to ensure, well, we're not making any more potential debris today, that's something big.
Right. Well, and if you expand to what we know is kind of in development, SpaceX just announced a 1 million satellite constellation. Philip just announced an 88,000 constellation for StarCloud. China has 2 different 100,000+ satellite constellations in development. This is a real problem that is not going to get easier to solve. It's going to get harder to solve. So just spinning up a factory to deal with this problem so that everybody just buys the system off the shelf, they know it's going to deorbit on time every time, that's a pretty good positioning in the market.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. I hope, right? Gambling a lot on that, but I hope.
Since I'm looking at this thing, I have to ask. I mean, this is how you start. This is the perfect way to start. But you have your specific braking system. Do you envision a time in the future somewhere out there where you could actually use this braking thing to retrofit existing satellites that are out there nearing end of life? We just launch a bunch of these things and they fly out there and attach themselves to existing satellites, according to what your customer might pay for and want to do the same thing, essentially.
Possible.
Okay.
So we will need sponsors for developing such systems.
Well, I guarantee you Space Force will be a sponsor because for other people it's an asset that deorbits on time. But for Space Force, that's an active weapon, right? So to deorbit the other people's satellites. So I guarantee you Space Force will pay attention to that one.
Well, I don't know. Talk to them. They just got a crap ton of money, recently.
They're about to get more.
They're making moves.
Right?
So you know what?
Yeah.
Get your name in there. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have ecosystem to support that maybe. And the thing is, satellite are the way we see it is we group satellite in 2 different camps. The larger satellite that has the propulsive maneuvering capability itself to deorbit, and also the satellites that are small enough that doesn't have the propulsive deorbit capability. And especially for the ones that are not able to deorbit by itself, and our devices are very helpful to make the satellite to be able to have the ability to deorbit.
Mm-hmm.
So we group the satellite in that way.
Right. Are you anticipating, SpaceX is notorious for building in-house and completely self-integrating everything that they're building. So despite them having a million potential satellites coming online, they're unlikely to be a customer. But the rest of the market is pretty open to buying services and tools. That's who you think your market is?
Right. I think first we will work on the smaller satellites and and gradually move up the size. And if the customers are bigger constellations that wants to have the capability, we'll be retrofitting with different scale in the product and do different product development.
Yeah. Well, I know the Euros are trying to develop something, to compete with Starlink. They've said, we had an article about it the other day. They said it's going to take them years to try to, to catch up with stuff like this. But it seems to me, since it's taking years anyway, this is a good time to talk to folks like that. They're still obviously in the design phase. This is where you want to get in there and get them. So there's so much opportunity for something like this. And I'm seeing, and my head's spinning,
Right. Yeah.
So we are the first Texan and Asian company to sign on the European Space Agency Zero Debris Charter. So we are actually quite fast in the development.
That's terrific. Yeah, that's cool. I'm guessing your system works better because it deals with air resistance. The lower the altitude that the spacecraft is in. So if it's at 800 kilometers, it's not as useful if it's at 300 kilometers, right? So what's the sweet spot for that? And how long does it take? If you're at 300 kilometers, how long does it take to get deorbited?
So I think the system works well under 750 kilometer.
Okay.
And however, these couple of years with the solar maximum, that will bump the altitude, the usability of the system a little further up.
Okay.
When the satellite is when the solar is not in maximum, we will be lower to possibly 700 to 750 kilometer altitude for usability.
And if it's at the 700 kilometer range, how long does it take to deorbit once it's deployed?
So our thesis is to deorbit within 1 year of the 5 years allowance.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Question just came in. Joe Luttrell joined us. Hi, Joe. He asked, how small of a satellite can your system fit in?
That's a very good question from Joe. Because
you guys should talk.
Because the unit is 0.4 U. So theoretically, 1 U CubeSat has only 0.2 U of space left. So we will retrofit into a satellite of 1.5 U and above.
Okay. All right.
So anything above 1.5 U or 1.5 liter size satellite and above, we can retrofit, and possibly up to 500 kilogram.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So Joe's space, the area that he works at is even smaller. It's not even as big as a normal CubeSat. It's like
1/4 of a CubeSat.
Right. It's really small. But I bet you, they're trying to pioneer that standard as the new standard for CubeSats. I bet you there's some sort of partnership or tech sharing or something like that. You guys should talk about that. That's worth following up on for sure.
Yep. We talk.
Oh, that's interesting.
We talk quite frequently.
Oh, good.
Oh, you did.
Good.
Great. Good.
So he's
Because of this show, did you guys know each other before the show?
yes.
It's because of this show that you guys talk, right?
Actually, before he
Oh, you knew each other before?
Okay.
he's the reason why I'm on the show.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, okay, all right. Yeah. This is a great show to kind of build partnerships and alliances.
Well, Denise here is very excited about your company, Kuang, and she's just wondering, okay, so when do you intend to go public? She wants to buy some shares.
I will work on that.
Okay.
I'll work on that.
And I think for Joe's question, we will need to shrink the system a lot smaller.
Yeah.
About
Okay. All right.
to
I
one.
just want to go and have a side question. It's because before you did anything else, you were semiconductors.
Yes.
You do semiconductors. You do lots of different things. Is anything you're working on applicable to the latest craze, which is of course AI data centers? Do you
Right,
build components that will help those and maybe make them run on less power?
Actually,
that'd be a place. That'd be a nice niche for you, unless I miss my guess.
Actually, it's interesting because only late last year, I was notified. I mean, I was checking out people's LinkedIn, and I saw this picture from a student group, and this picture has a photo of a 1U CubeSat with the Grand System logo on it. One of the, on the 1U CubeSat there were four logos, and there was one logo on it, and there was my logo. And I was thinking,
that's so cool.
I was thinking, wow, when was that? And I asked them, and it was from 2022. And they mentioned that CubeSat was one of the first CubeSat with the previous concept of the space data center before all the current space data center concept came about. So we actually contributed something for the space data center way back. It flew in 2022. That meant the CubeSat and the technology was developed since the 2018.
Wow.
So we contributed something, and recently, since the space data center is a pretty hot topic, so we have developed thermal straps for the computers, for all the computers that might heat up with the AI and the space data center. So we have, so all you need to do is screw onto your computer and the other end to the satellite. We also have other thermal systems and also semiconductor crystals. So we have developed some new technologies. And so we also have worked on, and so we're actually developing a lot on the thermal systems and also on the radiator, insulator, conductor, thermal strap, and making conduction path easier, and making the place where you need insulation for lunar missions. We also have the solutions, and also radiator for the space data centers. So that's what we are working on these days, and also on the crystal material for other development.
That's very cool. So it's kind of that old adage, don't dig for gold, sell the shovels. You're selling the shovels.
I'm selling the tools and
shovels, the jeans,
yep,
the work boots, whatever it takes. Absolutely.
Right.
Yep. So Yeah, we are making a lot of tools and components, and actually we develop the system and subsystems, and we started working on the whole system, and we found our subsystem is actually easier to sell than the whole system. So we try to do a little bit of both.
That's neat. That's exciting. I like seeing your company progress and kind of morph to the market. We don't have enough industries like that in our industry, or we don't have enough companies like that in our industry. Everybody, me included, like everybody's trying to, build the big thing. And Sean just said you're like the Ace Hardware of the space industry.
You're building lots of the little things, and that's what I wanted to do. That's why I had years ago I came up with the space scalable strategy for investing in things like that. So I'm still trying to convey, even all these years, I'm still trying to convince people, look, all this big stuff over here, launch and spaceport infrastructure and stuff like that, that's all cool. But there's 100,000 little things that we also need to build so we can become a truly spacefaring species. And you might be investing in some of them already and you don't even know it. So, even though Elon says, I'm building Starship myself, I'm putting all the components in it. Trust me, by the time he gets to Mars and actually sets up a town, there's going to be 1,000 logos from other little companies that provided, from all over the place that you never heard of, that provided certain key components. And your logo is going to be one of the most prominent ones, I think.
We are just scraping all. Because it's harder for us to get grants, so we try to scrape all the bottom purchase orders.
No, that's where the real businesses get built, right? Like all the people trying to get grant money, it's chasing our tails. It's
right.
It's not real business. Yours is a real business.
LOIs. I'll trade 100 LOIs any week for one good purchase order.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we are doing.
Denise is like, exactly. I have a theory. I think some of those MOUs and LOIs, layers of intent and memorandums of understanding, I have seen some that border on fraud. And I'm not going to back away from it. Some of those things are really sketchy. So what Tom said, take a purchase order over an MOU any day. So that's cool. Hey, we're running out of time. We only got 3 minutes left. We always ask the question about the future. So what does the future look like 5 years from now and 25 years from now?
Wow. So last year, we were trying to survive, and we were wondering whether we could make Christmas happen.
Right.
And this year it looks very different. So
you have a 250,000 square foot facility. I think it looks pretty different.
So it looks like many things might be happening, and so I think the manufacturing floor size is going to double this year. So it's going to be different from last year.
Yeah.
So
I'm just so tickled over what you're doing. It's basically aero braking, and it's just, I think it's a wonderful, innovative thing you're doing, and I just hope it goes absolutely insane and you sell, 1 million of them and do really, really well. And because you're really a credit to the industry, all the things that you do. I just love having you on here.
We will try to survive and make it to the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Well, all of us. I turn 72 tomorrow, so I understand. Time is passing me by too. So I got to get some shit done. I got to get some shit done.
I don't think about that. I just do it.
I'm still 35 in here, so as long as that keeps functioning, I'm happy.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay.
Yes, I know.
Okay, Kuang Han K, founder of grandsystems.com, all new expanding things, all new great things that you're now building. They're going to change the universe. And it's lovely to have you. I just love having you on here. You always have something interesting to talk about. And we'll do it again. Obviously, we will do it again. Are you going to a satellite conference by chance?
I'm
March?
going to the Space Symposium in Colorado.
You're going to Space Symposium, and yeah, I'm 50-50 for that. If I can figure out a way to talk there, I'll go. We'll see. I want to be this year. I want to be more of a participant than a spectator. But if I get that going, I'll definitely see you there. And so
I need to go
Long, thank you
back
for-
to. I need to go back to the factory and work.
Yes, I understand. Me too. Actually, my factory's more digital, but I've got a lot I'm behind on. So I'm there. I'm there with you. Okay, Quan, thanks for coming on the show. We'll see you again next time. Take care.
Take care.
Okay, Monday we will be returning to our normal tomfoolery after a few days of absence, after all that business. And we have another returning guest coming on Monday night, Rich Godwin, a great serial entrepreneur and venture capitalist. And he's always a fun guy to talk to about a whole lot of things. He has some great ideas. So he'll be on Monday, as always, 8 p.m. Eastern. For Michael Lane and Sean Key. And from this news desk at the Center for Space Commerce and Finance, I remain Thomas Andrew Olson. Keep watching the skies.